demonstrating a vast network of money laundering, fraud, and political corruption. Authorities allege Mutlu's group funneled millions through shell companies and offshore accounts, manipulating public tenders and financing political activities. The scandal's political dimension deepened with the arrest of Bayrampaşa's mayor, a member of the opposition CHP, turning a criminal probe into a political firestorm. Raids spanned multiple provinces, targeting homes and offices to seize digital records and financial ledgers. The operation's scale signaled a major crackdown on entrenched corruption, shaking public trust in governance. Now the nation is left questioning, is this a true fight against corruption, or a politically motivated move to weaken opponents? The answer will shape how Turkey views justice and power in the months ahead. Corruption is a persistent shadow over Turkey, fueling public frustration and distrust in institutions. Many citizens believe the system favors a powerful elite, with public contracts and jobs often seen as rewards for connections, not merit. Scandals involving politicians have repeatedly ended without real accountability, deepening cynicism about the justice system. The latest case, linking business networks to an opposition-run municipality, has inflamed political polarization. Some see the arrests as overdue justice, others as a targeted attack on rivals. Internationally, Turkey's reputation suffers. Being on the FATF grey list deters investors and complicates economic recovery. Each new scandal makes it harder for Turkey to attract foreign capital and restore trust. The fight against corruption is now central to both Turkey's domestic stability and its global standing. The operation against Hasan Mutlu and his associates was a meticulously planned, multi-province police action. Pre-dawn raids caught suspects off guard, allowing officers to seize computers, financial records, and luxury assets believed to be bought with illicit funds. Investigators suspect the use of shell companies and offshore accounts to launder money, complicating the financial trail. Forensic teams now face the challenge of untangling this web, requiring international cooperation. Images of seized evidence and luxury cars dominated media coverage, reinforcing the gravity of the allegations. The government used these visuals to project strength in fighting financial crime. For the public, the spectacle made corruption tangible and stoked demands for real accountability. The next phase, proving these assets are the proceeds of crime, not legitimate business. The arrests split Turkish society along familiar lines. Supporters of the crackdown hailed it as long overdue justice, while skeptics saw it as a political maneuver. Pro-government media framed the operation as a bold stand against corruption, but opposition voices called it selective justice targeting rivals. The arrest of a CHP mayor intensified accusations of a political witch hunt, with opposition leaders demanding transparency, but doubting judicial independence. Government officials insisted the laws being applied equally, dismissing claims of bias. The resulting media war has left the public uncertain, unsure if this is genuine reform or just another partisan battle. In this climate, truth is obscured by rhetoric, and trust in institutions remains fragile. The nation waits to see if justice will prevail or if history will repeat itself. The scandal hits as Turkey's economy teeters. Soaring inflation and a weakening lira have already eroded public confidence. Investor trust, crucial for economic stability, is shaken by allegations of high-level corruption. Foreign capital may dry up further as investors fear instability and unreliable legal protections. Turkey's FATF grey list status complicates global financial ties, and this scandal could make removal even harder. Economic fallout could mean more inflation, a weaker currency, and higher borrowing costs for the government. For ordinary citizens, this translates to rising prices and fewer opportunities. Corruption doesn't just undermine politics, it threatens the nation's economic future. The stakes are high. Restoring trust is essential for recovery. The current scandal echoes the explosive 2013 corruption probe, which implicated top officials, but ended in political purges and dropped charges. Both cases began with dramatic raids and targeted powerful networks, only to be mired in accusations of conspiracy and government interference. The 2013 fallout left many Turks convinced that corruption investigations are political tools, not paths to justice. This legacy fuels today's skepticism. Will this probe lead to real accountability or collapse under political pressure? The public remembers how hope for reform gave way to disappointment. The outcome of this case will test whether Turkey can break the cycle of impunity. The nation is watching. Will history repeat, or will this time be different? The arrest of an opposition mayor has cast the scandal as part of a broader campaign against dissent in Turkey. Critics argue the government uses legal action to sideline rivals and consolidate power, especially as elections approach. Recent arrests and judicial interventions against opposition figures reinforce this narrative. The government insists it's enforcing the law, but the opposition sees a strategy to discredit and distract them. Supporters of the crackdown say no one is above the law. Detractors see selective prosecution. The judiciary's role is hotly debated, with each side accusing the other of politicizing justice. This deep polarization makes consensus and real reform elusive. In Turkey, even justice is a battleground. The world is watching Turkey's corruption scandal, concerned about its impact on democracy, the rule of law, and regional stability. Western governments and financial institutions worry about judicial independence and the country's direction. The FATF grey list status and allegations of money laundering threaten Turkey's access to global finance. A mishandled case could further isolate Turkey, raising borrowing costs and complicating EU relations. The scandal is a test of whether Turkey's institutions can deliver impartial justice. International confidence and Turkey's reputation hang in the balance. In a globalized world, the cost of failure is high. As the investigation unfolds, Turkey faces a defining moment. Will this be a genuine break from the past, or another cycle of scandal and impunity? The answer depends on whether the judiciary can act independently and transparently. A fair, thorough prosecution could restore public trust and signal real change. But if the case collapses or appears politically driven, cynicism will deepen and reform will stall. The outcome will shape Turkey's democracy and its future. The world